Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Talk Podcast. Today, I want to talk about something that women don't like to talk about, and it has a bit to do with my previous episodes talking about single mothers and the disadvantages that they're putting themselves in, and also the disadvantages that they're putting the children in, especially. But when it comes to the dating world as a single mother, I think I'm not a single mother, but I think it's quite hard because already for women who are not having children, the dating world is really tough, right? Dating has changed completely, and I'm not sure for the better because people are more into online dating that gives everyone this idea of having so many options, which is not really true. And meeting people in the real world doesn't happen that many times anymore, right? So if women with no children are having a hard time dating, and yes, there are so many reasons to it. One is that women are having extremely high expectations on the man that they are attracting or that they are able to attract, but not understanding that these men also have their expectations on the women. So they're kind of having different ideas, but no one is really doing the work to meet on equal ground, if that makes sense. However, the thing is, how many times, talking about single mothers now, because at some point, you're a great mom, you're doing everything, you're juggling your household, your work life, the children, if you have more than just one, right? And you're happy and you're trying your best and you're happy being a mom and all of those things. I can imagine, because I'm not. I'm just trying to set a scenario right now. But at some point, being a woman, I do think you are going to want to go back into the dating world. And I don't know how many times we actually hear or see that single mothers are at high demand, right? You don't really hear or see that men are, from all the women that they're out there that they could check for and pick out of or try to date and pursue, it's going to be a single mother of not just only one child, but maybe multiple children. It's not really happening. So that's also something that women really need to be aware of, that they are putting themselves long term in a very, very tough situation. And I think I have kind of talked about this on some time ago, not too long, but I talked about this on one of my episodes, explaining the difference of why men are not really pursuing single mothers, because there's so many consequences and expectations that come with it. Suddenly having to be a father figure to someone else's child, financial support, emotional support, also having to deal with the situation that that person, the ex-partner, the father to that child might show up to the picture again. Or if you then create a relationship to the child, but your relationship to the mother breaks down, automatically you are not the father of that child anymore. You've never been, but the relationship is just going to cut at that place. There's so many things that come with it, but mostly why men don't want to do it is because of the issues that they might have with the other parent who's not really involved, plus the financial expectations and responsibility that men are not willing to carry. Like, if it's not my child, why should I have to pay for someone else's child? And I mean, I'm so into topics like this, so I do my research. I see so many people, women, talking about this, sharing their experiences. And we all know nowadays, instead of looking for help and going for therapy if you really have issues. People don't do that. They go to the internet and they start sharing their stories because they truly believe it's going to help them, or because they're seeking attention, right? So there are enough stories out there from single mothers who are actually talking about it, how hard it is to get commitment from men because they don't want to deal with all the drama that comes with it. And even though at first these women would say, I don't need you to take responsibility for my child, long term, they would want you to take responsibility for that child. They would want you to cover up certain payments. They would want you to be a father figure. They would want you to be there for the child, but at the same time, they would want to decide how much you are there, how much of an input you are to the child. And that's like a game that men don't want to be involved in. Like, so today I can be the dad, tomorrow I'm not. Today I can discipline the child, tomorrow I'm not. But altogether, I'm only good to pay the bills and cover up the expenses of the child. And I also talked about it, how the other way around, it's far more easier for women to be in a relationship with a man who already has a child or two, because men usually don't expect financial support from a woman. If he already has children and he's a single father, he knows from jump that that is his full responsibility. He's not dating a woman, meeting her and saying, yeah, you need to cover up the birthday gift for my child. Oh, we're going to dinner. Do you know my child is coming with us? You need to pay for that child. So women are more likely to deal with a man who has a child because they are not expected to be financially involved for that child, or to deal with other certain responsibilities that can come along with it. So the other thing that makes it really hard, what women don't share to other women, don't talk about to other women, why it's not really the best idea to put yourself in that situation, is that the pool of men that you would like to get is shrinking, right? Because men who have purpose in life, who are not having children, who have a great job, who are, they're available and they know where they're going in life, they are not looking to become a stepdad. They have the option to pick out of suitable women who are not having children, who have not been ran through, who don't have baggage and traumas, who are fit, feminine, and friendly, who are young and fertile to have their own children and create their own families, get married, and then they're going to grow a family together. And he knows he's giving his legacy to his children instead of adapting or adopting, not even legally, or maybe even legally, but that's something men really don't want to do. Adopting a child that's not theirs. Does it happen? Yes, it can happen, but that is not the majority, right? So from 10 women, we cannot start making a rule just because 1 out of 10 found someone who's going to come in, step in, and start taking responsibility for a child that's not his. Majority of men don't want to do it. And the other thing is that when you're dating someone, that phase should actually be about you and that person, right? But because you have a child and it's common sense, and that's how it should be, in that case, your priority should be that child, meaning you don't really have the time and space to start dating, right? To meet someone, to travel, to go out at late night, like late times for dinner, come back, maybe go for a drink. You don't have that time. While he doesn't have children and he's free to set his schedule, you always need to make sure there's someone around to take care of that child, or can the child maybe join us because you don't have anyone to take care of that child, or because the nanny's not available if you have one, or you couldn't find a babysitter, or daycare just kind of doesn't fit that schedule. So many things. So women would like to paint this picture of, yeah, just because I am a baby mama, just because I have a child doesn't mean I cannot get a man. You could get a man. And this is not me saying this. I'm really not making this up. These are experiences of women that they share, because at some point you can only keep so much to yourself. At some point you're going to need to let it all out. And this is what they are doing more and more. And they're going to the internet and they're sharing their stories. Men that you're going to attract being a single mother are men who are going to want to sleep with you, but not really commit to you, right? They are going to come around here and there, have a fun night with you, but go, because the responsibility and the drama and the baggage and the financial responsibilities are just not beneficial for him being the man. It doesn't make sense. So these men are going to look at you and say, okay, look, she's already in this situation. I'm sure she's happy to have someone around. It's an easy play, right? So they're going to have fun with you. You feel good for that night. He feels good for the night, but they're gone. So for you to make yourself valuable, I'm not saying you're not valuable as a human being, but valuable in the dating market as a single mom, requires a lot of work. And I don't know, I just felt like this is something that I would want younger women to understand, thinking about becoming a single mom. I don't hope that's what you're planning to do. But it's in every case that you look at it, it's just not a right choice. It's not the best thing to do. And women who then found a man, they should be actually really grateful. And not just a man who's there, but if you find someone who is caring and loving and taking care of your child as well, and taking over responsibility and financial responsibility for a child that's not his, you really should be thankful, because no one has to do that, right? So, however, guys, have a nice one. Bye.
Just a little bit of real talk for a minute. If you're going to talk to a single mom or date a single mom, I hope that you have real intentions with that person. Because when we get heartbroken, we don't just get to choose to come home and be alone. We have to smile when it's time to pick the kids up from school. And we have to put them to bed, and we have to be happy mom. And when y'all come into our lives, playing games or messing with us, it makes our lives 100 times harder. Don't mess with single moms.